Hello, this is Dr. Dana Brackney, and I'm a full professor in the Department of Nursing at App State. The objective of this presentation is that you, the listener, will value positive personal regard as the foundation of motivational interviewing. Human dignity and self-determination are two core values in nursing practice and, to my knowledge, values of all health professionals. These two values are central to the practice of the spirit of motivational interviewing and its implementation. The spirit of MI is a way of being with people that respects human dignity by being collaborative, evoking the person's own reasons for change, respecting their autonomy, and expressing compassion. One way to implement the spirit of MI and demonstrate respect is and you may think this is easy, but trust me, it is rare. Uh, please ask permission before discussing a health behavior topic. This means that the results of substance use screening are not just presented to a person. Instead, the health professional asks, would it be okay with you if I provide you with information from the alcohol screening you just completed? This question prevents the assumption that your information is more important than the person's own choice to hear or not to hear the information. The healthcare provider can ask more questions if resistance to hearing these results is presented, and most importantly, listen and roll with the person's response. The not so simple act of listening and of asking permission demonstrates compassion, respect, and collaboration. Motivational interviewing also evokes the person's own reasons for change. You, the careful listener, will often hear ambivalence and desires, hopes, and dreams in the response of clients. These responses then are further discussed to focus the client encounter on topics of interest to the individual. These are the tasks of motivational interviewing: engaging, focusing, evoking, and negotiating plans. The screening tool provides an opening to ask permission to engage in a discussion about substance use. Open-ended questions are often used when engaging a person to talk about their own values and experiences. Next, the healthcare professional focuses the conversation on what is important to their client. Healthcare professionals listen for change talk throughout the conversation. Questions about how likely someone is to make a change on a scale of 1 to 10, followed by why not a lower number, often evoke a person to state their motivation to change. Finally, helping the person to make a plan and setting up a follow-up appointment or handoff to another professional completes the tasks of motivational interviewing. In addition to the MI tasks, there are four Spirit of MI principles to keep in mind as you engage with a client. The first principle is that the health professional needs to express empathy with a person's situation or their experience. This empathy builds trust and helps the health professionals remain humble in their demeanor. For example, I'm sorry that you've been feeling so down recently. The second spirit of MI principle is to build discrepancy between the client's own values, which needs to be exposed to facilitate change. Here are some discrepancy building examples. A healthcare professional might say, so I hear you that you want to be more supportive of your son by attending his ball games, but it sounds like your drinking is getting in the way of attending. Is that correct? Or they may say something like, so do I understand you correctly? You said you want to go on a vacation, but the money you are spending on pills and alcohol keeps eating up your savings? Or perhaps something like this. So I hear that your friends mean a lot to you, but you're concerned about your health and safety if you keep on drinking so much with them. Next, the third spirit of MI principle is to roll with resistance. This means if a person's objecting to facts that you share, you do not argue with their resistance and you do not object to their continuing on with their behavior. You place more value on the relationship than on making someone behave or believe your own truth. An example of rolling with resistance might be saying, "You just don't know how to have fun, do you? My drinking has never hurt anyone." I'm, and that's what the client says. And then in response, the healthcare provider can say, "I'm glad that you do not want to hurt anyone. Would you like to hear about my concerns that you could be hurting yourself?" Rolling with resistance helps a person to not dig in their heels with their stance. Our value of autonomy and self-determination prevents us from forcing someone, as if we ever could, to take a particular action or subscribe to a particular health belief. Finally, the fourth spirit of MI principle is to build self-efficacy. Self-efficacy is supported in motivational interviewing by identifying, supporting, and affirming the client's positive values and health choices. You'll practice these when we're together and then also in the LMS system. In fact, in the LMS, which might be Canvas or As You Learn, you'll write up after reflecting on the following. I'd like you to think about a health behavior change that you've made, tried to make, are making currently, or are planning to make. Go ahead. Take a moment and just jot that down. Now think, what led to your decision to consider making this change? This could be many things. Write those down. And how did it go, or how is it going? Or even how would you imagine it might go? Now, let's take this a little further. How would the outcome have been different or similar if you had someone helping you with this change who demonstrated the spirit of MI? Did you experience the tasks of motivational interviewing, engaging, focusing, evoking, and planning? What if someone had helped you by embodying the principles of MI with empathy, developing discrepancy, rolling with your resistance, and supporting your self-efficacy? I hope that this reflection helps you to value the positive personal regard that is at the core of motivational interviewing. We will have lots of time to continue practicing this aspect of motivational interviewing. I look forward to working with you.